Hello everyone and welcome to another DIL concept analysis, a series of videos where I discuss about upcoming dinosaur concept arts released for Evrima. Today we will explore Rugops, its real-life counterpart, and how it's going to be in Evrima. So without further ado, sit back and enjoy the video. Rugops primus, meaning first wrinkled face, was a small-sized theropod from the late Cretaceous, 95 million years ago, roaming the swampy jungles of Niger, West Africa. Barely surpassing the length of 17 feet, this small carnivore belonged to the Abylosauridae family, a group of theropods well known for their rather short skulls and mostly vestigial forelimbs. Most abylosaurids also had bony crests above their eye sockets, differing in shape, number and size depending on the species, with Carnotaurus being the most famous of the bunch. Rugops, however, was outside the norm, not only being amongst the smallest members of the family, but also with a distinct lack of any cranial ornament. In fact, this abylosaurid lacks pretty much everything, since the only evidence we have of its existence is a singular skull that is not even fully complete, leaving many of its anatomical features unknown, at least at the moment. Studies suggest that this specific cranium belonged to a subadult individual, so in the future its current size estimates might become inaccurate. However, despite that, Rugops was most likely a small game predator or even an opportunistic scavenger, since during that time period, these small species of abylosaurid coexisted with megatheropods, such as Spinosaurus and Carcharodontosaurus, not being able to compete with such strong competition. In the Isle, Rugops' theme seems to be around agility and nimbleness. Its relatively small size appears to allow it to traverse obstacles with ease, something that was similarly showcased in the Gallimimus concept. This affects not only its usual movement but also its maneuverability during combat, like in this case where Rugops effectively drifts around the much larger Carnotaurus, also functioning as a size comparison for us to really get the grasp of how small this creature is. Moving on to this section, we can observe that, unlike most dinosaurs in Evrima, this species can crouch much closer to the ground, helping it disguise itself within dense vegetation a lot easier than other sneaky dinosaurs. Below, we have a specimen swimming outside of what it seems to be a sewer entrance or something similar. The entrance itself is partially destroyed, with some metal bars missing. However, it is unlikely to be Rugops' work, since we know that this animal in particular didn't have a strong bite. But despite all of that, this image might imply something more important that I will discuss in just a moment. And finally, here we can see a visibly scared human trapped in a bathroom with an adult Rugops at the door, showcasing the fear factor the Isle intends to implement, especially regarding mercenary gameplay. This is a rather simple concept art, which reflects the dinosaur's simplicity nature in-game. And while that does seem bad at the first glance, perhaps we are looking at it from the wrong perspective. It is clear that from what we can see in most sections of the concept art, that Rugops is a very agile, small game predator, and in a vacuum that could be detrimental for the species since the competition is so high. It would have to deal with Monolophosaurus, Dilophosaurus, Utahraptor, not to mention all the agile mid-tiers like Carno and Allo. That would put Rugops in a very precarious position, with no relative niche established for it, or at least a niche exclusive for it. But what if Rugops thrived in another ecosystem? What if its niche didn't necessarily involve dinosaurs? As I mentioned before, this image has a more hidden significance within it. So let's do this together this time. Look at this concept. Think outside the box and tell me the pattern you can detect. Pay close attention to every single image. I will give you a few seconds. On a closer inspection, we can find that its agility and size are the two most emphasized aspects in the entire concept. Not only agility, but also flexibility, fitting in spaces smaller than itself due to its thin and flexible body structure. More importantly, we can see that it can enter sewers and buildings, and being more or less the height of a human, it can effortlessly go anywhere inside human structures. This could make Rugops not dangerous to dinosaurs, but for humans. being a dedicated human hunter. With it being capable of comfortably swimming through tight canals and feed through doors, this small predator would be very dangerous for humans specifically, especially fresh spawned mercenaries that have close to no equipment. Being able to enter a building from seemingly every opening will make them unpredictable and give them many options to ambush humans successfully. Now, we know that Utah also can do this to an extent. After all, they are within the same size range. However, here's where I believe its call comes into play. With such a robust cranium, giving Rugops damage reduction on its head would make it perfectly suited for this kind of niche, with mercenaries having to aim at other parts of its body to deal significant damage, which in theory will be hard to do since buildings are made of very tight corridors. Of course, nothing regarding this is specifically mentioned in the concept, but in case I'm correct, this not only would make Rugops viable, it would also give it a very uncontested niche, having a gameplay experience much more diverse than most dinosaurs in the Isle, hunting down humans whenever they appear and pursuing small herbivores in the absence of mercenaries, while having the necessary maneuverability to escape from larger predators. But what do you guys think? Do you still consider its concept a bad one? Would you like to see more human hunter dinosaurs in the Isle? Share your thoughts and opinions down below. If you want to watch previous concept analysis, there will be a playlist available in the end credits. If you're also interested in discussions about the Isle and its future, check out the rest of my content. A huge thank you to my Patreon supporters for supporting the channel and the content I create. If you wanna join the ranks, the link will be in the description. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and opinions down below, join our Discord server for memes and pillar nut stuff, and I hope to see you next week.